Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. This is Carol Parisi. Today, our founder, Jack Roser, and myself. You have Mr. Jim Edwards from the Republican Renaissance PAC, and this is our post-mortem election recap show. How come we did not even win anything in Illinois?
You can look over here, and I'm going to tell them.
You're going to tell them?
Yeah, damn right. Listen, I'm the guy that put the money behind, largely, the Republican Renaissance PAC. And we put out the good Republican values that are in the platform, and we lined up through his vetting of a lot of good people that ran as Republican candidates throughout the state. We did a lot of polling, and it showed that we should have had quite a few of those people who should have been elected. Why am I angry? I've been doing this for years. I'm 89 years old, and there's nothing hidden about how I believe America is. I think America is Roy Rogers, and we exist that way, and we don't go kindly with people that push us around. I've lived up to that. I've spent millions of dollars trying to get good people of good principles elected. There's no question about it. I've paid my share of time and trouble and money to get this going. We had a lot of help from other moneyed people to pass money on down to mainly the Tea Party people who have in the past done an awfully good job. How come it didn't work this time? When we organized this, you vetted extremely good candidates all over this state. We had a lot of Tea Party working at it. We did get people to give us money. What happened? We got completely swamped out because what didn't happen is we didn't get any help from the top. Who's the top? It's this Rutherford, is the head of the Republican Party in the state of Illinois, the treasurer of the thing, the guy that as a senator voted for 2 men make up a family. He's got no following, and the National Party had no faith in him either. So we had as a dud running the politics of the state of Illinois. There were no coattails attached to Mr. Rutherford. Why would anybody want to follow this twit? And now we go up the scale to the fellow that ran for President of the United States. Why did we have a lot of people follow us? Because we held 2 fingers up and we said Illinois is the most crooked and it's the most busted state. When you got troubles that big, you got to have remedies of a size that match the trouble you got. And when we sold that stuff with bits on the radio and on our programs, people realized that was good leadership. Did we have anything that resembled that at the national level? Listen, Mitt Romney is a nice guy, and I'm sorry he didn't get elected. He'd have been a hell of a lot better in office than the guy that we got in Obama, the con man. He would have been good, but he presented himself as a soft operator. What he put up as the political process did not match the size of the problem that confronts the United States of America with the massive debt that Obama has already put us under. He never described really the size of it and how he was going to deal with it in terms that were proportional to the trouble we got. There was no coattail left for either Romney or Rutherford that wound up as being the guy that ran the Republican Party state, if you can call his stumbling around and his crummy politics, if you can call that any kind of leadership. We got crapped on by the top, is why we weren't successful in the very good and expensive programs we put forth to utilize the great help that comes from Tea Party people. It was at the top that we got no coattails. The proof of it is it was all over the state. It wasn't that there were individual places where we didn't do it right. It's just that the leadership of our party failed us.
And then Rutherford was campaign chairman, Illinois campaign chairman for Romney.
Yeah.
And when he was out there giving his speeches, he was talking about himself, not Romney. We had no game plan at all in Illinois for Romney. If we'd have had a little bit, every congressional race, every state rep race, every state senate race, every county race would have had a little bit of help, because there would have been some help from the top and
This
filtering
idiot
through.
Rutherford has it in his head that he wants to run for governor. I don't know of a man
Well-
that is less suitable for the job, but where he gets his support from at all, I don't know. But anybody ought to know as they think ahead 2 years for governor. It ain't gonna be Rutherford.
And interestingly enough, when he was the only Republican senator, and there were 6 Republican House reps that voted for the civil unions with the Democrats, all 6 now are gone. The last one, Skip Saviano, got beat. So the only Republican left that voted for civil unions is Dan Rutherford. And so I find that kind of interesting. And we had people ask us, well, shouldn't the Republican Party in Illinois go more to the center now? No. It's most of the ones that got beat, the incumbents that got beat, were the moderates. People want conservative values, and the
Republican
Democrats.
values, the party platform, the Republican platform in the state of Illinois has good values in it if they'd only live up to it.
And if we had leadership that believed in their own platform, obviously Rutherford doesn't.
No.
Well, you know what I found to be quite interesting is that the Romney signs that were around the state had to be purchased. There was no money in Illinois.
That's right.
Everybody, I
ridiculous.
mean, but then again, you've
We
got Mad
purchased a
again.
great many signs at the Renaissance PAC.
A lot of individuals
and got
did.
them all distributed.
Yeah.
A lot of the townships had to purchase their own. I mean,
But
here's
we gave them out. We didn't sell them like Rutherford did. Rutherford
right.
wanted
He
to
sold
sell
them. But you know what? Obviously, we're broke. We're on a fiscal cliff. Madigan cut this map and gerrymandered it. They won, and they won a supermajority. What is Illinois going to look like for us moving forward here? And
Let me speak a little bit to that, because you really bring up the focus of the problem. That Russian guy I talked to this morning that came up to me at a little ceremony at Auto Engineering and said, I came here from Russia. I see this going in the direction of the place I left. He says, they're setting up the same thing. I've had that kind of discussion with other people that have come to the United States from places where they got socialist leadership. They left it because it wasn't good for anybody, and it always results in violence in the end. And we've got that. We voted for it. Not we, but the Democrats foisted that off on us with the schemes that you saw how little respect the leaders of the Democrat Party had for their own Democrat people out there, the misguided voters that have been. Our schools stink. They don't teach them anything about what this great country was founded on. That isn't part of public education. That's another whole subject I'll leave behind for the moment. But what we've got to do is rebuild the Republican Party at the top. We've been building in at the bottom. We got to change the top end of the party. This guy Rutherford has to go.
Well, if you take a look at, I mean, every business in Illinois paid close attention to this election. They want to see the direction that Illinois is going in. And with the Democrats in the House and Senate once again having a supermajority, I can promise you, you're going to see a lot of exodus out of Illinois from Illinois businesses.
that's all I kept hearing Tuesday night and Wednesday. I'm leaving the state. I'm leaving the state. A lot of people are going to be leaving the state. A lot more of the makers are going to be leaving the state.
Here's a message to any union people that might be listening to us, by the way, because James Carville says they're the party of fraud, basically. Obama won Ohio, and his message was pretty much that the auto bailout worked. Well, did you know that 7 out of 10 GM automobiles are now made in China? So the bailout worked, and it's helping China. It's not helping you union workers. He's going right around your back and making you think he's for you. It's the party of fraud
But
from the top down.
Jim, truth is relative. Truth is what you could make the voter believe is the truth. That
right.
is what these people say.
That's
So
the quote from James Carville.
That's a quote from James Carville, and this is exactly how they operate.
And the sad part is he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah. And the problem is that I don't think the Republicans got the message. They let the left define them. They let the left define them. They started off trying to define women's issues, and the Republicans are going to hurt women and set them back to the 1800s.
And they're laughing all the way to the
You're
bank.
very correct about all this, and it's clearly you're heading in a direction of what our mission should be as a conservative and decent republic.